When we get answers in decimal form, sometimes it's not always appropriate to give your answer to 6, 7, 8 decimal places. And for most of this course, if you're not advised otherwise, always give your answer correct to 2 decimal places. So the mathematics we're performing is as exact as we need it to be. And when you give your answer, if you're not told how many decimal places, just give your answer correct. Now that word correct to 2 decimal places is important. We don't just chop it off at the 3rd decimal place and write 2 decimal places. There's a rule for rounding. Let me go through it. So if you had 24.861 and we wanted correct to 2 decimal places, so we want to finish our answer there. Now we look at the 3rd decimal place. If we're doing 2 decimal places, if this is 5 or above, then we round up. It is less than 5. Now in mathematics we can say, write it like that. Less than 5, that's the less than symbol. Less than 5, we just truncate. And truncate's a fancy name for just cut off. So we want to 2 decimal places. We're going to stop the answer there. We look at the 3rd. Is this 5 or above? No, so we just chop. So that'll be 24.86 to 2 decimal places. So we want this number to 1 decimal place. Okay, so we've got 24.861 and we're going to have just 1 number after that. We look at the 2nd decimal place now, the next decimal place where we're going to make our cut. And is it 5 or above? Yes, it is. So we're going to round up and add 1 onto that. So that'll be 24.9 to 1 decimal place. Okay, gets a little bit trickier when you add 1 and it goes up to 10. So let's do one like that. So if we had 40, or let's go 4.997 to 2 decimal places. Two decimal places means we're going to chop here. We're going to stop writing the answer there. 2 decimal places. We look at this. Is this 5 or more? Yes, it is. It's 7. So we're going to add 1 to that. So if we add 1 to that, we get 1 and 9 is 10, carry 1. 1 and 9 is 10, carry 1. So we've got 0, 0, carrying 1, we add 1 onto that. So that'll be 5 point. Now we must write those zeros to show that our answer is to 2 decimal places. So that is to 2 decimal places. Okie dokes. I think that basically covers everything. So as a general rule, if you're not asked, give all your answers correct to 2 decimal places in this course. And if you're asked otherwise, well then obviously you follow it out and go through and do it. There is another thing related to this, another concept is called significant figures. And this is used quite extensively in courses that require you to measure. For instance, say you were measuring an object that was moving and it travelled 100 meters in 11 seconds. And you're asked to calculate its speed. So you know that speed equals distance over time. So that's 100 over 11. And if we did a quick little calculation, we get 11 into 100 goes 9. We've got 1 left over, 0. 11 into 100, 9. So 9.09. 11 and 10 doesn't go, 9. And looks like we've got a pattern going on here, and it just keeps on going. You're never going to, it's what they call a non-terminating decimal. So we've got 9.090909 and so on. Now, it does not make sense to give your answer as that, or any more decimal places, because who's to know when you were measuring this that you had exactly 100 meters, or you had 100.02 meters, or you had 99.95 meters measured out. The other thing that could have been out is 11 seconds. Who's to know it wasn't 10.8 or whatever. So there are rules for how many significant figures your answer should be, but I will leave that up to the individual courses as to how you are to apply and what rules you would apply to determine answers with a number of significant figures. So we won't be worried about significant figures in this course, but you should be aware that yes, they do exist, and yes, you need to stick to strict rules as far as how many significant figures your answer should be. Needless to say, we'll just worry about rounding in this course, and you need to be able to round to any number of decimal places, even whole numbers, and the rules are fairly straightforward.